Hello and welcome to the Kundalini podcast. That was Zen. This is Tao. I'm Vivek Gobekar. This is episode 86. It's funny, the episodes have started keeping a connection with my memories from the past. 1986. Fortunately or unfortunately, in a digital world, for a person like myself, an analog experience that I lived that cannot be compared to anything. I'm going to talk about my childhood a little bit today, as I see it from an awakened perspective. So here goes. I grew up in Mumbai, India, born and raised May 19th, 1974. And I was fortunate, I was blessed enough that my family came from a place called Goa. Now, remember, Mumbai is a metropolis where everyone has a native place where they are from. Nobody's from Mumbai, generally speaking. Yes, there might be people for 2 or 3 generations, 4 generations, but seldom would you see someone who's like, yeah, Bombay, that's it. We don't need know anything else. Now, maybe that's true. Back in my day, in the 80s, growing up in Mumbai, it was that way. At least in the crowds that I moved around in, which is suburban offshoot, like the last station that could still be called Mumbai, which back then, by its standards, was still considered like on the outskirts. Now I know what people in Dadar, and it's like, they used to say things like back in the 80s and late 70s, I don't remember much, but mid 80s I definitely do, until 86. And 87 was the year I moved to Nashik. Big change in my young life. In Mumbai, you had to take the local train, and like it's said proverbially by a very funny artist called P.L. Deshpande, Mumbaikar is what people from Mumbai call themselves. People from Mumbai, their fate is tied to their wrist, meaning their wristwatch. Back then, so beautiful. It was not just analog, it was primitive by certain standards of the first world, which certain things had become normal. Telecom, television, and these were still novelties to us. Just because they existed somewhere else and we got bootleg ways of watching them like VHS in the 80s did not mean that we were living those experiences. It was still a pretty analog, primitive existence. Now that comes in handy and makes me feel like, oh, that was an advantage. To remember something completely analog, gramophones, cassettes, radio, television, 1 channel, 2 channels, definitely no computer in your house, but enough knowledge, exposure by 1987 to know a friend who had a computer in his house, and we played Space Invaders on PC, IBM PC, whatever, DOS machine. Then I saw Windows come in at some friend's place, but still didn't own the computer. But look at how many technologies were leapfrogged. And then I moved to the United States of America in 1995, like the mid-90s. Exactly 1 year after the internet took off. So there I was at the cutting edge of that technology and its deep penetration, because people already kind of owned computers for a long time. And it was easier to buy one. So by the late 90s, I had a computer in my house hooked up to a modem, access to the internet at all times. And I still didn't have a cell phone, but I had a cell phone at around 1999. Now, in 2021, to be able to have access to that and revert back to it comes in handy for a yogi who is trying to make this a journey back into where you read a book, went to the library, wrote stuff down on a notebook, read books and put reference materials, that school memory or college memory of knowing how to do all of those things and reverting back to that in a very analog way. The only thing I have is a phone, so I can make videos. All the technology is compressed into one little device. Interesting times that we live in, to say the least. And having an awakening, you get into that Taoist rhythm. That's one of the first things I caught on to, was the Tao. And it was about simplify, balance, relax. Simplify, discard, balance, polar opposites, face some things within your psyche, because now the energy is making you let go and create a better mechanism. So that finger touching Adam from God, which is a famous painting by Michelangelo, became true in my life and now is becoming true in my life on a daily basis or a more regular basis, the more I allow the energy to penetrate within me and change whatever it changes. Sorry. By the way, a misconception in people's minds is about the energy being not only moving chakras and nadis. When I talk about it clinically, see, when blood gushes through your body and your heart starts pumping faster. The end result of that entire mechanism of capillaries, veins, arteries, heart, all working together in tandem with your emotions. Let's say you miss the bus and now you're running. Your heart beats faster to pump more blood so you can run and have that energy to do that task. The more you have trained yourself, the easier it is to fall back into that. The heart is used to that. Similarly, any training that goes into your mind for meditation, for mindfulness, for a facing of your realities of the past, being able to stay in the consciousness of the present, and moving forward only having cleared things, simplified things. And they can always be simplified. Being yourself is the easiest thing. What boundaries the outside world places on you to be in a certain mindset at all times is more of a socially lived reality and impressions of how human beings should behave in a general sense. That's obviously true, but it's not exactly going to be from a sitcom or a soap opera, right? We understand that pretty fast about reality lived. You have to go to school, get a job. You have your own reality built up. How many of those ideas are based on just copying others and being made to do them out of necessity, and how many of them were your own self, what you had to trample upon within yourself or sideline knowingly, breaking a part of yourself, but I gotta do this for the greater good, also can be harnessed towards positive things to be done for yourself, to discard bad actions, bad habits. It's a gradual process, of course. Now, coming back to this analogy of blood gushing through your heart, and the whole entire effect is based on something you face in an external reality. I have to get to work, I have to run, and I have to catch the bus. Now you're on an autopilot. Surprisingly, I found that even doing that, calmer, gentler, and not having to just be hassled or worked up or have to experience the after effects of having done it for years. Giving yourself a break, in my case, because of the Kundalini process, because of changes in my personal life, forced me, and I used that channel towards the right purposes of cleansing the past, of still staying grounded to the past, being strong enough to overcome adversity, going to the next part of my life, and then coming back to cleanse the old space in my mind, in my heart, in my emotions. That's what the Kundalini energy tells me. It's funny how one thing leads to another. I started studying classical music afterwards, after my awakening. Why not study this? Why not get a better experience? And then I found out that no matter how much you listen to it or appreciate it as a listener and know it theoretically, unless you sing, unless you put the Tanpura machine on, tabla machine on in my case, and use the Casio to play, the notes, and then sing Indian classical music and practice, then your mantras get better. How you speak gets better. Now, your ability to sing and being able to intone your voice in a certain way also lends itself to regulation of breath when you're speaking, when you're presenting something. One thing leads to another. So, breaking out of your boundaries, breaking out of your shell is still subservient to the needs of you as a human being, and the energy just helps that. Now, at a higher level, just like blood gushing through you, whatever that mechanism is, your end result is something in your life that's going on, that, and it's subservient to that action, like you catching the bus. The body doesn't know, maybe the unconscious parts that run the body don't know, maybe, what the conscious mind is thinking of and to what it is subservient and to which purpose that is being driven. However, you still feel the after effects of traumatizing yourself every day, which has to be dealt with. I found out, because I got out of that rat race of childcare, of dealing with a spouse in harsh ways, but now I had that freedom to balance myself, and thank God, because of the Kundalini, you stay grounded enough to balance yourself from the past first. Very useful before settling into your new ambience, that you have somehow found a healthy outlet for anything left behind from the past baggage. And it's easier to do when you have a practice of mindfulness and meditation to fall back on. Then moving into your new life based on the actions of your past gone, old patterns gone, new patterns set up, not even from communication from the phone or just knowing somebody as a person. Of course, your reality changes, your day-to-day activities change, and you're more engrossed in your own life. Now done healthier with none of the old patterns repeating themselves in negative and harmful ways. If they are negative and harmful to you, in the long run, they're gonna catch up with you. So it helps to break patterns. In my case, I'm just telling you what happened post awakening, post having certain mechanisms within me to make my mind more focused, clear, balanced, using the Tao, using Zen, using meditation, and how it helps when you break away from certain old habits and then come back to them healthy. Oh, now I'm not doing this. Oh, now I'm even witnessing the part which in the past would have been struggling with this situation. Now I breathe, center myself, ground myself, find myself, witness my thoughts, gather myself, balance all of that, let go easier of the past, of whatever is in my mind could trigger something that is not in my psyche, in my realm, because of actions taken by myself, self-activated transformation. Old triggers don't work as well as they used to, and that's a blessing. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. This is episode 86 at an end, and I'm so enthused. I am thinking about new ideas all the time to express to people. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think. This is Vivek Govekar signing off. Peace, love, blessings. Be well.